Hello there, good to have you join us on Core TV News at 4. I am Gete. Lagos businessman Chief Molade Okoya Thomas is dead. Okoya Thomas holds the traditional titles of Asojuoba of Lagos, Babasua of Ijebu-Remo, and Odofin of Ife. It was until his death the Chancellor of the Lagos State University and Chairman CFAO Nigeria Limited. He was a sports enthusiast and sponsor of the popular annual Asojuoba Table Tennis Championship. Okoya Thomas was born in Lagos on June 8, 1935, to late Usman Okoya Thomas and late Alaja Suebat Okoya Thomas. He had his elementary education at Princess School, Lagos, between 1942 and 1946. He subsequently proceeded to Baptist Academy for his high school education and left Baptist Academy in 1956 as the best graduating student. He was aged 79. Details later. As some states have begun to back out of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria strike, a call has gone out to the Plateau chapter from the chairman of Plateau State Nigeria Bar Association, Barrister Lafa Dafa called on his judicial co-workers to call off their month-old strike to allow room for negotiations. While speaking with our reporter in Jos, he urged the people of the state to be patient because they are only doing what other judicial workers are engaged in across the country.
They are just doing what is going on all over the country, because all over the country no state has practically and satisfactorily complied with the order of the court. So that's why all the state judiciaries have not yet been reopened. It's only the state federal government courts that are reopened.
He also used the occasion to appeal to the workers to temper justice with mercy because so many are languishing in jail due to the inability of the courts to sit and grant bails.
We should consider the plight of the society, because as it is now, there are some people that were supposed to have been released since early this year, and they're still languishing in prison. And people that are being suspected to have committed one criminal act or so, since the beginning of this year, they have been there either with the police, and the police detention rooms are not enough to accommodate these people. It's only the court that can grant bail in issues like that. So I'm suggesting to Jusin to be reasonable in their demands, and the state government too to be reasonable in their consideration, the demands of Jusin. And that we have spoken to the Attorney General of the state, and she has now mandated that we should try to see how we can talk to Jusin together, myself, the AG, and Jusin, to see how we can solve this problem once and for all.
Thank you very much, sir.
A recent poll conducted for ANAP Foundation by Noipos Limited shows that a significant number of registered voters in Rivers State are undecided in the choice for governor between PDP candidate Nyesom Wike and his APC counterpart Dakuku Peterside. 42% of eligible voters sampled in the course of the survey either undecided or preferred to be silent on their choice. The result made available to newsmen in Abuja, however, indicates that Wike is leading other candidates with 35%, with 19% opting for Peterside. The survey also shows that both candidates have some support from eligible voters across all age groups. Most first-time voters aged between 18 and 21 years are undecided on their choice of candidates according to the poll and may be critical in deciding the outcome of the election. Barring any last-minute chance in plan, the People's Democratic Party's presidential rally earlier fixed for today in Damaturu, Yobe State would no longer hold. President Goodluck Jonathan, Vice President Namadi Sambo, and other top officials of the PDP were earlier scheduled to take the president's re-election campaign to Gombe and Damaturu today. It was, however, learned that a decision to call off the Damaturu rally was taken on Saturday after members of the president's advance team had already arrived at the state's capital. When asked why the rally was put off, the officials simply said it was an unfavorable security report. The top presidential official said that when it became clear that the rally would no longer hold as scheduled, members of the president's advance team left Damaturu for Abuja on Sunday. It said the team had left the town before an explosion was recorded in front of the residence of the PDP candidate for the Potiskum Mangere Federal Constituency in the state's Sabo Gabu, opposite the Federal Government College in the town. 8 workers evacuated a man injured in a suicide blast in Potiskum, Yobe State on Sunday. By the PDP timetable, the campaign train is expected to visit Mina and Lokoja on Tuesday, Beni and Asaba on Wednesday, and Yenokwa on Thursday, before rounding it off on Saturday in Abuja. The national leader of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, and Governor of Anambra, Willie Obiano, says President Goodluck Jonathan remains the presidential candidate of the party for the 2015 general elections. Obiano stated this during the flag-off and campaign rally of APGA held at the Eke Palace ground in Abeokuta. Details from Napoleon Mome is in this report presented from our studios.
The governor urged all members of his party to come out and march to vote for Jonathan and all APGA candidates in the coming election.
For this presidential election is Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. And I ask everybody, particularly the people from the southeast, to vote massively for Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
On the issue of the controversy surrounding the distribution of the permanent voters' cards, he says INEC is doing its best.
All I can tell you is that INEC is trying their best. INEC is trying their best. Well, I believe they are. If they are not, they wouldn't have gone all the way to this time.
Also speaking, the national chairman of the APGA, Victor Ume, says APGA is a national party while also urging people of Ogun State to elect a God-fearing man who had the capacity to govern.
Elect a God-fearing man who has the capacity to govern in the person of Professor Bambushe. All our other candidates, we urge you to vote for them. APGA is a progressive party. It is a democratic party where people are not oppressed. If you are the best, you are given the opportunity to offer your best in the service of the people.
Obiano later presented the governorship candidate of APGA in Ogun State, David Bambushe, to the party's supporters. Earlier, Governor Obiano and members of the party paid a courtesy visit to the Alake of Egbaland, Oba Adedotu Gbadebo. The Oba said people have the right to vote for their choice.
What group you want to belong to, when you have looked at what they have to offer, what they promise, then you join them and to go on together with them realize the dream of that group or association.
The monarch also advised political class to shun violence and not overheat the polity.
The Living Faith Church, also known as Winners Chapel, has dismissed reports that its founder, David Oyedepo, vowed to unleash the gates of hell on anybody who opposed the re-election bid of President Goodluck Jonathan. President Jonathan visited the headquarters of the church at Ota, Ogun State on Sunday, January 25th. Shortly after the visit, there were reports that Oyedepo allegedly declared a public support for the president. The church in a statement said those spreading the rumor should have obtained the video clips of the service and verified the claim. The church added that the rumor is the handiwork of mischief makers. It also said Oyedepo did not call the president to the altar for any special cleansing or deliverance. The church concluded that the president did not come to the altar for any special blessing, as alleged, and that he also sounded a note of caution before his speech about people reading meanings into his presence in church. Barely a few days after the signing of a peace accord for peaceful elections in Lagos, a member of the House of Representatives and Lagos West senatorial candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Solomon Adeola, also known as Yayi, has cried out for help over the alleged incessant attacks on his supporters by his People's Democratic Party opponent Segun Adewale, also known as Ero. The latest of which occurred on Saturday night. He urged the police and the state to address the issue before it gets out of hand. Core TV News presents this update on the issue.
Solomon Olamilekun Adeola, while addressing the press, says he and his supporters have come under constant attacks by his PDP opponent Segun Adewale, describing the latest attack as a brazen attempt to kill him. He says he was in his office with his campaign team when he heard a volley of gunshots fired from the street as his supporters took to their heels. He added that the security men attached to his office confirmed the presence of Segun Adewale in the midst of the gunmen who attacked his office on Adeni Jones in Ikeja.
I think the story in today's Nation and his Facebook confirmed that emphatically that he was here to lay complaint about his billboard and the facing of his posters. So that confirmed that yes, Segun Adewale was here in person. And there was another question is from there, where are they heading to? Jimmy Agbaje was to be honored. As I've said earlier on, I'm less concerned about the PDP. And as such, it will not be my problem if they are having any events here in Ikeja yesterday. But Segun Adewale himself has made it known to the whole world that he was on his way from a campaign from Ajiromi Felodo and chose to pass through my office, and he stopped in front of my office, and all other evidences are there. The back of my Land Cruiser Jeep was there, the window of my offices that was shut up was there, the gate was there, and these are the cartridges that was shot by Segun Adewale and his team while they were here yesterday.
According to him, the incident has been reported to the police and investigations are on by the police. He, however, expressed his surprise and disappointment at the duplicity of the PDP candidate in his rebuttal of the attack.
Already yesterday I've called him and he has sent his men, the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operation and the Deputy and the DPO, Ikeja Division and Mine Division. They were here yesterday, and some team of investigators to collect statement and information from us. We have followed the rules. We have abided by the Constitution, and we have chosen to follow the path of peace. And I pray and I hope that this time around the police will not be treating this matter with a kid glove. If it is true, they are sincere with having a very peaceful and non-violent election.
Segun Adewale, however, on his Facebook page says the alleged attack was an attempt on his life while returning from a campaign rally at Ajeromi Felodo through Adeni Jones, and also expressed surprise at what he described as a twisting of the facts. While both sides continue to point fingers at each other, investigations will reveal what actually happened on Saturday night.
With less than 2 weeks to the general elections, the Edo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has warned the ruling party in the state, the All Progressives Congress, to stop the constant unprovoked attacks on its members, saying that such unwarranted attack will no longer be condoned. State chairman of the party, Dan Oria, made this disclosure in his response to an attack on 11 buses conveying members of his party to its mega rally. State correspondent filed in this report.
Dan Obi, while addressing the large crowd of party members at the rally in the communities of 12 wards, says PDP members have once again been attacked by suspected APC thugs along Urumehe community, where the Deputy Governor Pius Obudu, an APC member, hails from. He added that the members of the party were on their way to attend the rally from Ibanke, where they were attacked.
We are attacked at the Deputy Governor's village. Let me say it here. Let this be the last time that APC members will attack members of PDP for any reason. We are law-abiding party members, but there is a limit. We will take this insult. But for now, we are going to report this particular incident to the police, and we expect them to take action.
Earlier, the party chairman called on the people to vote for President Goodluck Jonathan and all the PDP candidates in the state, saying they will not be disappointed. He emphasized a vote for Muhammadu Buhari will spell doom for the nation.
Muhammadu Buhari will have decree number 4. There was no freedom of speech, and he will reintroduce decree number 4 as president. That is why we have come up powerfully to reject Muhammadu Buhari. For President Goodluck Jonathan, raise your hand.
The Ohion people who displayed their PVCs signified their preparedness for the upcoming election, just as more APC members and leaders decamped to the PDP. Dan Obi, in his welcome to the new PDP members, faulted Adams Oshomole for his leadership and administration style.
He has not shown enough that he's from Orion. Everything went there to say, Oshomole the carrier go Iyabo. Which one is pre-come Orion?
Meanwhile, APC State Publicity Secretary Godwin Eraho says the PDP allegation is nothing but a smear campaign against the deputy governor.
You're watching Core TV News at 4. We'll take a break. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back, Core TV News at 4. Boko Haram insurgents have for the second time in 2 weeks launched an attack on Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. Well, like the first attempts, troops backed by fighters jets repelled the attack. Members of the local vigilante group, the civilian JTF, were also part of the initiative that pushed back the invaders. Local residents say scores of Boko Haram members were killed during the battle that raged for hours. The Defense Headquarters has since confirmed that the terrorists suffered heavy casualties through its Twitter feed. The People's Democratic Party has praised the gallantry of officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces in repelling the insurgents in Borno and other troubled states in the north. PDP National Publicity Secretary Lisa Metu said in a statement in Abuja that the members of the armed forces have shown exceptional patriotism in risking their lives to protect those of other citizens and intensifying efforts to ensure that the nation is rid of terrorist activities. He also condoled with the families of the victims of the attacks, while also comforting the displaced and the wounded, and prayed God to restore enduring peace in the country. The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, on Sunday denied a newspaper's report that he will subject the military and other arms of government to probes if elected president in the February 14th election. Buhari made this clarification through a statement signed by Garba Shehu of the Directorate of Media and Publicity, APC Presidential Campaign Organization. The retired military general, however, said his administration will deal with all cases of impunity and corruption, no matter who is involved. It also quoted Buhari as saying that he is passionately concerned about the conditions of the armed forces at the moment. Buhari, according to the statement, lamented that despite huge budgetary allocations, the country has failed to effectively deal with security threats, including the Boko Haram terrorism. The federal government has given approval to the police for the acquisition of 2,564 vehicles to enhance security operations during the forthcoming general elections. Vice President Namadi Sambo was speaking at the launching of 263 patrol vehicles for the police at the Eagle Square, Abuja, also appealed to party supporters to shun violence during the polls. Sambo, who represented President Goodluck Jonathan, says the procurement of the vehicles is aimed at boosting the capacity of the Nigerian police force to effectively deliver on its mandates. Speaking earlier, the Inspector General of Police, Sulaiman Abba, says approval for 2,564 operational vehicles was given by the President. But the first batch of the patrol cars, comprising 170 Nissan NP300 hard-bodied patrol pickup vans, 129 Nissan Frontier double-cabin patrol vehicles, 50 Nissan Patrol 4WD Jeeps, 10 Toyota double-cabin armored patrol vans, and 4 Ford 550 model 4x4 state-of-the-art armored personnel carriers are the ones being commissioned. The Nigeria Police Force has continued its efforts aimed at bringing professionalism to the force with the graduation of 301 officer cadets as ICT professionals after training. The graduating officers, 213 ASPs and 88 inspectors, have spent a year at the Police College of Information Technology, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Details of Napoleon Mumez report is presented from our studios.
The Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, represented by the DIG, Ashimad Agungu, in his address to the graduates, says Nigerian police, which is currently facing security challenges through the activities of insurgents and terrorists, has taken the step to rise to the challenge through development of capacity, like the training of officers in information, communication and technology, proficiency and use.
President, I can say with confidence and pride that despite the threats and challenges confronting the Nigerian police still remains stronger, safer and more respected in the field of security. However, we still face very serious threats. As we have in recent weeks with insurgents, there are still terrorists who are challenged to police officers and men that you need to be ready for the full ranges of threats. It is from the conventional to the unconventional, to the cell of terrorists planning the next attack, from the dangers of robbery, kidnapping, to the new threat of cyber and other crimes and criminality. We must be vigilant.
Police Affairs Minister Abdul Jalil Adesina, while congratulating the graduates, says the art of policing has gone digital and Nigerian police force cannot afford to be left behind. He assured Nigerians that the police will handle the forthcoming general elections with professionalism.
Policing has gone digital, and as a member of the global village, the Nigerian police force cannot be left behind.
He added the president is committed to a free, fair and violence-free election.
The president has repeatedly declared that, quote, my political ambition does not worth the shedding of the blood of any citizen of this country. Mr. President has humbly demonstrated in word and action his unalloyed commitment to peaceful and violence-free election for this country.
He urged the political class to embrace peace before, during and after the elections.
And now outside Nigeria, Egypt's state media and security officials have disclosed that an Egyptian court has ordered the deportation of jailed Al Jazeera reporter Peter Greste to his native Australia. The security officials also confirmed that Greste is already out of Egypt and on his way to Australia. The Cairo airport official also says the journalist boarded an Egyptian flight to Larnaca, Cyprus that took off shortly after 1016 local time and 14 GMT on Sunday. Grester spent 400 days behind bars in Egypt after being sentenced to 7 years in prison for allegedly aiding the Muslim Brotherhood group, blacklisted as a terrorist organization by Egyptian authorities, and a case that sparked international outcry. And that's our news for this hour. Please join us again. I am Gift or Gete.